What's up, guys? So I wanted to come on. I know I told you guys probably a couple of weeks ago now that I would be doing a series of videos. And to be honest, I just have not had the energy to do it. So I've been spending the past few weeks trying to figure out how I wanted to present the videos. And I thought about, as a young person, I used to keep a diary. And so I decided that I would do a video diary of sorts. And here's the reason why I decided to do it or call it this. It's because I find that a lot of what I want to talk about, I tend to talk myself out of talking about it. But I remember when I was young and I kept a diary, I would write down like my innermost thoughts with the hopes that no one would ever find them and share them. Now, there was nothing crazy or, sadistic in it. It was mostly just boys I had crushes on, people I disliked, and, things that happened to me during those days or whatever. So I would just kind of document those things in my diary. And so I decided to do a video diary because I want to have the same level of transparency that I would have in a physical diary vis-a-vis video. Did I say that right? Or just maybe via video. And so that's kind of the approach that I want to take, is just this very open, very transparent, kind of documenting where I am in this stage of my life. So a lot of you guys know, I'm going to start here. A lot of you guys know that I am, among many things, I am an ordained minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I am a Christian. I have a ministry that I have been not as active in because of some of the internal struggles that I've been having, not with regards to the faith, but with regards to the people. And I will think about a friend of mine many, many years ago who said, people aren't your problem, they're your ministry. And I agree with that on so many levels, not just in a spiritual space, but just in everyday space of just being a good person, a good human. I recognize that I have a certain responsibility of good towards people, and that anything that I do should do no harm to and I think this is just a fundamental human thing, that everything that I do should do no harm to people. And so that is a heavy mantle in and of itself. So it's with that mindset, with that understanding, that I feel compelled really to do a series of videos addressing some of the pressing issues that are in my spirit. Some of the pressing issues obviously include the state of the faith. I did an event several years ago that was entitled The State of the Faith, and I had some of my brothers in the faith come, and we sat on a panel. We talked about different topics, different issues, and it wasn't a well-attended event, but the information there was very important and very pertinent and so relevant to the times that we are in currently. That video, I think, still exists. I don't know if it exists on my Girlfriend Therapy page, but it definitely exists on my First Fruits Publishing or First Fruits Media page. I don't even know if I still have that page up. I will have to go back and look. But nonetheless, it was a great conversation, very timely then, and it's equally timely now. As we endure this current political season, I think it's important for us, honestly, to think about the responsibilities that we have to humanity, which is why I think it's so important for me to be vocal in this season. It is no it is no surprise. It shouldn't be, it's not a mystery that I am voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in this upcoming election. It is without question that I will not support anyone or anything who is supporting Donald Trump. Now, when I say supporting Donald Trump, that's different than saying the Republican Party. I think people are mixing the two. I think that there is a value in the Republican Party, the traditional, right, ideas of a Republican Party. I think there's value in the traditional ideas of a Democratic Party, or Democrat Party. I just happen to lean more on the side of the Democrats. Now, if I was a selfish person, that's probably not the right way to say it because that is poking in the eye. In my life, if I was just concerned with myself and my household and what my husband and I are bringing in with regards to income and our state in the world or the economic structure or whatever, then I would probably lean more Republican because the reality is, yeah, I don't like being taxed as heavily as I'm being taxed. That is like my biggest thorn in my side with regards to the structure of this government one of them is the tax system and how heavily taxed the middle class is. And I would consider myself or my household maybe upper middle class. And we are taxed out of the wazoo with very little of return. Now, the only thing that gives me solace in that is my faith, and it is understanding that there are people who are in need. And the scripture reminds us that the poor will always be amongst us. So there will always be people who will need support to just get through their day-to-day or to meet some of their day-to-day needs. And it is on the strength of that understanding that I've made peace with the amount of taxes that I pay. And it is on the strength of that understanding that I encourage those who are closely connected to me to take advantage of every program that the government offers. Why? Because I am paying a great share of taxes that is going to help those who are in need. And so I make peace with that. On the other side of that is the fact that I do have so many people who I care about who have different lifestyles than I do. And I think it's important for them to be able to express themselves freely, to freely be who they are. I think it's important for them to be able to navigate the world around them and navigate their life and have freedom of life choices. I think it's important for them to do that. And so I'm always going to stand in a position that supports freedom of choice in every regard. And the freedom for people to make decisions for their own lives is essentially what I'm saying. I remember, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I feel like I will because as I'm talking, this is just a video diary. So if I was just, free writing, then, it would be the same kind of thing. So now I'm just free talking. But I remember in undergraduate school, I took a class. What was it? I can't remember the name of the class. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But it was dealing with like a lot of the social issues. Contemporary. I can't remember the name of it. But it was dealing with a lot of the social issues. And during that time, I got my undergraduate degree in 2002. During that time, you're talking 1998 to 2002. I was an undergrad at Bowie State University. During that time, one of the big topics were abortion. It was always one of those big topics. What was the other one? It was the people's right to euthanasia was one of those topics. That's when we had, what was that doctor that was like, euthanizing people at their request. People who found themselves maybe very ill, terminally ill or whatever, and they decided to, I can't think of any of these things because this is literally off the top of my head, but they decided to, end their lives under their own terms. So things like that, I found myself always on the side of, it's their choice. And so even as a Christian, even then, I was young in my faith, but I always understood this idea or the reality, not even idea, the reality of choice. I often talk about, even in the scripture, the very basis or one of the very foundations of the faith is your choice. You have the right. It's like choose Christ, right? So one of the very foundations of the faith is your ability to choose, or your right to choose, or your freedom of choice. I wouldn't even say right. I would say more your freedom of choice. And so I think it's important to always hold on to the reality that we all, each of us, have the freedom of choice, not just in the natural and in the physical, but spiritually as Christians. One of our fundamental foundations is our freedom to choose. Now, what those choices are and how those choices play out in individual life is up to that individual. And at the end of your life, we believe, at least our faith teaches us, is that at the end of your life, you will have to give account for the choices essentially that you have made in life, right? So again, I don't get to tell you how to choose. You have the freedom to choose. So I have a fundamental issue when Christians get on this whole idea of, trying to take people's rights or take people's right to choose or their freedom to choose. I have a fundamental issue with that, especially when they hide behind the faith in their attempt of doing that, because I think it is hypocritical and is very contradictory to the very faith that we proclaim. Because at the foundation of the faith is your right to choose. And in fact, choosing to ascribe to Christianity. That is our choice, right? God does not make any of us ascribe to Christianity. It is our choice, that it is by our choice, rather, that we come into the faith. And then as we grow within the faith, we begin to live our lives in a way and make those choices to abandon the things of the world, or abandoning those things that are inconsistent, right, or incongruent with what we believe and what we understand with regards to the faith. I think conviction is another greatly important topic that we have to consider when we're talking about the faith. So I can't, if you've not got a revelation on a thing, not even just a revelation, but a conviction, if you don't hold a conviction about a thing, then there's nothing that I can tell you with regards to the thing, which also lends itself to the idea that we are all on our own journey and all on our own path and making the decisions and the choices that we have to make concerning us every single day. And in that regard, again, there's no one who gets to decide for another person, or especially another adult person or another thinking person. No one gets to decide for them what their choice ought to be. And so with that regard, I will, with regards to the right to choose, I will say that I am very much pro-choice. I'm pro-choice, and take from that whatever you want to take from that. What pro-choice means to me is, and I talked about this before, is not that I don't say I'm pro-abortion. I'm not pro-abortion, but I am pro-choice. And whatever someone chooses, I support them in their choice. Again, as long as it doesn't harm or hurt anyone, any thinking, breathing, living ability being, I give them a right. That's their choice. Now, one of the big controversies, and I don't want to make this a topic about women's rights to choose, but it is one of those topics that's on the political table in this season, and it is on that right alone. If that was the only topic on the table, I'm voting for the person who is pro-choice. Other topics on the table I have to look at, because they greatly impact, again, this idea of individualism and this idea of people having a right to choose what's best for their lives. Anytime any decision is taking autonomy away from an individual, I will always have a fundamental issue with that. I will always vote for an individual's right to choose, their right to choose what books they read, their right to choose what school they go to, their right to choose not to go to school, or when I say school, I'm talking about like college or whatever, their right to choose who they want to marry, their right to choose whether they want to have children or not. Like anytime there is a law, or anytime there is a topic on the table that would threaten anybody's ability to have autonomy over their self, I'm always going to vote for people to have autonomy. And if you're not familiar with the term autonomy, it just means that I have the right to make decisions regarding myself. Not my husband, not my children, not anything else. At a minimum, I have the right to make decisions about myself. If someone would say, "Oh, Kwanzaa, I don't want your hair like that. You don't get the right to choose how I wear my hair. I have the right to say how I wear my hair. If I want to choose to wear this blue striped shirt and someone says, no, Kwanzaa, I don't want you to wear that blue stripe. You don't get to choose. And I'm saying this on a fundamental level with really, not so major topics, but it really does kind of come down to the same idea of I have a right to choose what is best for me as an individual. And for me as a Christian, with the help and the guidance of the Holy Spirit, the choices that I make that is right for me as an individual should be a contributing factor to society. Like it should contribute in some way that does no harm. It should contribute in some way that does no harm to society. And so those are some of the things that I'm wrestling. I don't know. This is the first part of this video vlog, right? Or this video diary, because I'm still just kind of working through. There's a lot that I want to say, but I don't want these videos to be super long, and I don't want to. I don't want them to be just like like so well thought. I just want to be free to come on and just express myself through video and just kind of let you know. But I think, so as I continue to do these videos, one, I think they'll become more clear because you'll have the foundation. Right now, I'm just kind of sharing the foundation. But then two, I think as I continue to do these videos, they will become more clear because you'll be able to connect the dots of some of the things that I'm saying, because a lot of these themes will be reoccurring. And I think right now, giving you the foundation of who I am. And I didn't even give you that, but most of you, if you know me, then you know who I am. In fact, I'll use these last 30 seconds or so to tell you who I am. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am, obviously a sister, a daughter, and all those things, a friend, a cousin, all those things that connects you to people. But title-wise, I am a PhD. I am a doctor. I have my doctorate in philosophy of humanities. No surprise there, which is at the basis of when I talk to people and they say, oh, what do you have your doctorate in? It's a philosophy of humanities. And it is the human condition and all the things, the human condition and all the social system and things that influence or affect the human condition. So those are the things that I am fundamentally concerned with. And those things include religion, it includes politics, it includes education, it includes the financial system, it includes justice, it includes what we watch, what we listen to, music, television, entertainment. It includes everything that influences the social system. And it is on the strength of those things. Oh, and I am a minister. I think I mentioned that earlier, but I am an ordained minister. So on the strength of those things, I have a particular position in the world where I navigate with all of those things in mind. I navigate the political system with my faith in mind. I navigate my faith with this sense of humanity or this commitment to humanity in mind. I navigated my degree program going to in pursuit of my PhD. I navigated that program with the realization, understanding that I am a Christian, that I am a minister, that I'm a wife, that I'm a mother. Like all those things influence everything that I am and everything that I do. And the decisions that I make are all influenced by those things. And so if I have a great aunt living in Texas who's dealing with whatever she's dealing with, if I have in any way can contribute to a better quality of life for her, and I have to take one for the team, I will. And taking one for the team for me really boils down to the amount of taxes that I pay. And yes, I would love to keep more money in my pocket, but if the money that I am dishing into the pot, which is the pot of the financial government's pot, if that money is being used to take care of things that people that I love need, then I'm all in for that. And oh, by the way, I'm a veteran. So I have a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of stake in the game. And so on that strength at a basic level, on the strength of all those things that I will continue to make decisions that I believe will do no harm to the greater good of society. And for that reason, I'm obviously, again, voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz during this upcoming election. But I'll give you guys a little more background in the videos to come on some of the other thoughts and other feelings and other things and experiences that will continue to influence me during this political season and moving forward in this here United States. So certainly more to come. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, but definitely stay tuned because there's certainly a lot more to come. And I'm going to do these. I'm not going to do them in any particular order, or like I'm not every Tuesday I'm going to come on. I'm going to come on as I deem compelled to talk and to speak. And hopefully by the end, you guys will, know me a little more, be a little more clear, and then also be engaged in society and what is needed to really help us as a whole. So that's it for now, guys. Hopefully it made sense. So please stay tuned. Continue to follow our Girlfriend Therapy channel. Continue to stay plugged in so that you can catch the videos as they come out. This might be one of those, 52-part series. Like, no, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that at all. But if it was, it would be helpful because I think there's a lot to be said just about humanity. And I'm going to use this space to do it from my own little space in the world. So that's pretty much it. More to come. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. If you listen, just kind of give me a thumbs up. You can either do it in the comments or you can do it just literally thumbs up in the video. So but certainly more to come. So blessings, guys.